State lawmakers are now considering legislation to redraw Louisiana's congressional maps. The push comes after a U.S. Supreme Court ruling last week, which prompted Governor Jeff Landry to delay House elections, even as thousands of ballots had already been cast. The decision is leaving voters uncertain and candidates facing new questions about the road ahead. A landmark decision with immediate political and electoral consequences. This legal battle began in 2022 when Press Robinson and other plaintiffs challenged Louisiana's congressional map, arguing it failed to include a second majority black district. They pointed to census data showing black residents make up about 1/3 of the state's population. A federal judge ruled in their favor. That decision sent lawmakers back to the drawing board, resulting in a new 2024 map that created 2 majority black districts. But that new map quickly became the center of another legal fight. On April 29th, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled that the 2024 congressional map was an unconstitutional racial gerrymander. Just hours after the decision, the impact was immediate. Governor Jeff Landry moved to halt upcoming U.S. House primary elections, saying new districts would need to be drawn. That move was quickly challenged in court by Democratic candidates and civil rights groups, who say it could disrupt an election already underway.
There's been a reset over the last couple of decades. Parties have used Section 2 to basically legally entangle states in the redrawing of congressional districts. This no longer does that.
With the map now in legal limbo, Louisiana's congressional districts and election process remain unsettled.
Early voting has already begun in the state of Louisiana. There are over 1,000 ballots that have already been mailed out. There are over 4,300 ballots that have already been cast, which means that Louisianians already selected their congressional candidates. So essentially what this governor is asking us to do is to discard the selections for Congress, but to count the ballot and to count the votes for Senate, to count the votes on the constitutional amendments, and to keep that whole. This is something that's unprecedented. It has not happened. And the reason it hasn't happened is because it throws a statewide election into complete and total chaos.
However, state officials say the court's ruling provides necessary legal clarity.
This decision is a seismic decision for the Voting Rights Act and for the state of Louisiana. It vindicates the position that we've taken from the outset when we originally defended the first map adopted by the legislature, and we said to the court then that we couldn't draw a new map without violating the Equal Protection Clause, that there was no way to draw a second majority-minority district without taking race into account, which we believe to violate the Constitution. The United States Supreme Court has now affirmed the judgment below that overturned our second map as a racial gerrymander. So that opinion is hugely important.
Meanwhile, nonprofit organization Leaders for a Better Louisiana say the decision could have nationwide implications.
We know how close Congress is, particularly in the House, in terms of the seats of Republican and Democrat. It's a midterm election. We know there's always kind of a swing during those elections, so it's going to be close. And I think when the Supreme Court ruling came down, some states that are particularly in red states, but we're seeing it in blue states too, are looking at it and saying, well, we can see if we can redraw now really quickly and pick up some seats for our side, whichever our side is. And so you're definitely seeing in the South with Alabama, talking Mississippi, Tennessee, and of course Louisiana is all over the place in the news.
For Congressman Cleo Fields, whose district was central to the case, the ruling strikes at the heart of minority representation. What's your reaction right now?
It really puts, minorities, particularly those who live in the southern part of our country, in a very tough position because the history dictates that they have never been elected. Like take Louisiana, for example. A black member has never been elected to the U.S. Congress from a majority white district. And so only when there is a creation of a majority black district where a black have the opportunity to get elected.
With multiple lawsuits still pending, Louisiana's congressional map and its election timeline remain in legal and political flux. Despite the uncertainty, civil rights groups are urging voters not to stay home.
If you were going out to cast an early vote, please do that. This is going to work its way through the courts. We still need everybody participating. There's so many important amendments on this ballot. There's so much happening in the state. We cannot allow this confusion to distract us.
You could tell me I need to jump a certain height. I could perhaps do that. You can tell me I need to run a certain speed. I could perhaps do that. But if you tell me I got to be white to serve in the U.S. Congress from Louisiana, I can't do nothing about that.
At the heart of this case is a long-standing question. Should race be considered when drawing electoral maps, or does doing so cross a constitutional line?